Well, coach, it's been another short week for you. Tell us how the preparation has gone following the win over the weekend.
Well, as you can imagine, the players are in a buoyant and confident mood. Good victory at the weekend, good performance. And as you say, a slightly shorter turnaround. And hopefully those emotions are fresh in everyone's mind. And we can attack this rivalry game against Atlanta in the right physical and emotional shape.
Thank you, Coach. A reminder, please alert me through the chat if you have a question for Coach or any of the players who will be coming after him. With that, we will kick it off with a question from Team Sullivan.
Gary, obviously you guys are a little bit shorthanded with the Gold Cup as well, but seeing the injury report for Atlanta and how steep it is, and not necessarily knowing who they will even have come Thursday, how do you prepare in a situation like that?
Well, it's a really difficult one. I think we're moving into a phase of the season where a lot of teams are going to be utilising their roster and their squad. Lots and lots of players within each group that are off to Gold Cup or otherwise. And it's going to be very difficult to determine who's going to be out on the field. But I think what we do know is there's a style and a vein that runs through that Atlanta group that Gabriel's developing more and more over a period of time. Their possessional stats are huge. They've got some very good technicians. They've still got some really talented players available to step out on the field. And I think what none of us are going to overlook is that with such a rival as Atlanta and some of the tough games that we've already encountered with them, we would be incredibly foolish to think that whoever's missing, it's going to be an easy game by any stretch.
Ben Wright with the next question.
Yeah, Gary, I was just wondering, does playing a team like Atlanta so quickly, I mean, you just played them a couple of weeks ago, does that impact your preparation? And do you feel like it's an advantage or a disadvantage to have them again so soon?
I think there'll be some qualities that are fresh in our minds. I suspect that would happen likewise to them. They'll be very clear and concise on what we're about, what we're capable of, some of the problems that they ran into. And, we've looked at one of the things this morning that, could certainly be thrown at us on Thursday night. But I do also think that given our home form, the way that the guys have applied themselves in front of our home crowd, we need to use that energy, we need to use that confidence and make sure that, we're on the front foot and we take the game to Atlanta. It's a tough game. When you look at it on the schedule, it's always going to be one of those fixtures that are inspiring as you see it and as you work towards it. But we're in good shape, and we're looking forward to Thursday, given our form spin.
Ben Ray with a follow-up.
Yeah, Gary, I know you don't want to give away any plans for Thursday, but I just have a question about the system that we saw last week. I know you used a back three or a back five, whatever you want to call it, a good bit in USL and occasionally last season. Could you maybe just talk a little bit about kind of what you think some advantages or disadvantages of the system is and why you thought it was a good fit?
Yeah, listen, we played against a Diamond for the first time up in New York as a team, and we encountered some difficulties, and that could have been after the 3-week break. It could have been multiple things, away from home, but I just felt as though there were some natural positions and outlets for our group that would possibly enable us to, and of course in the right circumstances, to control the game a little bit more and be a bit more of a threat. as much as being a difficult team to play against, we're at home. We're very, very keen to get ourselves in front. And all of those things came together on the night. And that's testimony to the players and their workload and the information they took on board. But, it really is, any system is really down to the individuals that apply themselves and try to carry out that plan. You can be as intricate as you want to be with a plan or a system. But if the players don't apply themselves, then it's a waste of time. So it's down to the players.
Tim Sullivan with another follow-up.
Talked a lot about how you guys are creating chances this year and haven't necessarily converted as well as you'd like. What strides have you seen from the team, whether in training or over the course of the past few games, that either gives you confidence that that'll improve rapidly or maybe makes you think that there's still room to keep on grinding away at it?
I think there's always room for improvement, Tim. We're far more comfortable, if you like, in our own skin in terms of creation and the way that we've gone about our business in an attacking sense. I think we've looked far more cutting edge, bright, purposeful than we did for good stretches last year. I think most coaches would agree that they'd much rather be making the chances and missing them than not creating them at all. However, it is always a tad disappointing that life's not a little bit simpler and more comfortable in some of the games that we played. But if you look at a game like the weekend against Philadelphia, who themselves are a top team, terrific record, could be classed certainly as the most consistent team in MLS. I thought both sides of the ball, we did a very good job. We, were able to limit them to few moments, and we were able to create and carve out enough really to win the game and feel as though we should have won it. I also think we had a couple of, real nice penalty shouts turned down. And on another day, who knows? It could have been a little bit more comfortable than we saw at the weekend.
How has it feel to return from loan and be making the impact that you have been making?
Yeah, I think it's a really good testament of the club and the organization, the plan they had for me. I think being able to come back and make an impact with the group that we have, it's a tough thing to do. We got to, from man 1 to man 30. This is a really competitive roster and one that I'm just happy to be a part of right now.
Thank you, Jack. We will now open the floor for questions. A reminder to the media to please alert me through the chat if you have a question for Jack. We will kick it off with Tim Sullivan.
Jack, I asked you kind of a version of this question after your first game back over a week ago now, but what did you get out of, I guess, just the sheer number of reps that you got in San Diego? I think you were getting like 100 touches a game and stuff like that. Obviously, you're not doing a ton of that here, but what sort of growth did that provide you as a player?
Yeah, I think one of the big things, especially at the professional level, is just the different pictures that whenever you get the ball, you know exactly option A, option B, option C. And I think just being able to have these reps in game and at a very good club in San Diego, I think that it makes all the difference, really.
Ben Wright with the next question.
Yeah, Jack, this is, I guess, a bit similar to Tim's question, but we saw you get a couple of appearances last year at the MLS level. Do you feel more comfortable at this level after playing in San Diego? And just how do you feel in general about your play so far?
Yeah, absolutely feel more comfortable this year compared to last. I think that really just having the ability to get games and having more trust and confidence. And this really just comes with time. Gary has talked about it from day one, like getting experience, and not only getting experience, but getting the trust of the players around you. That just takes time. And I think Alistair was able to step in and play extremely well whenever he got in. And I was just trying to follow his lead, really.
Tim Sullivan with a follow-up.
Speaking of Alistair, he is obviously not going to be around for a couple games here. How has your chemistry been building with whomever it is playing right back? And obviously you had Walker next to you on the other side in the previous game too, but how has the chemistry been building up with the guys who are going to kind of have to step in and replace the guys who are out of town?
Yeah, I think the chemistry's been going really well. I think whoever ends up getting the opportunity to play in the back with us, I know will step in and do a really good job. That's the going back to the camaraderie and just the sheer talent level of this group, regardless of who ends up making the start with us. I know they're going to be ready, and I know that they're at the end of the day, they're going to get the job done.
And yeah, with that, how has the preparation been ahead of Thursday?
The preparation has been good. I mean, the team is in a good spirit, you know, after coming from a win against Philly. I'm sure we all like feeling good, you know, ready to, you know, tackle the next game.
Thank you, Brian. We will now remind the media to please alert me through the chat if you have a question for Brian. With that, we will kick it up again with Tim Sullivan.
And Brian, you were out injured last time you guys played Atlanta United. What did you get a chance to see, maybe from a different perspective than you usually would, maybe sitting on the bench?
Obviously, they're a very exciting team. I mean, to play games, they like to attack. And from what I saw, I mean, they just keep attacking the whole game. And, you know, even if the 2-0 up, 3-0 up, I don't know if anything has changed with the way they approach the game, but they're very attacking mind. They have an attacking mindset, and so they just love to attack. They like to play exciting football, and so that's what I saw.
Ben Wright with the next question.
Yeah, Brian, obviously you guys will be without Anibal Godoy for the next couple of weeks at least. What have you learned playing with him, and kind of how do you see your role filling in for him while he's out?
I mean, Godoy is like a leader on the team. You know, we all learn from him. You know, trying to pick up a lot of the good stuff he's doing. I mean, I don't know if I'm filling in for him. We have a lot of midfielders. It's up to the coach, you know, to decide who is going to fill in for Godoy. It depends on every match, you know. And so we just wait and see what the formation is going to be against Atlanta United. And if my name is called up, you know, I'm always ready to give everything for the team.
Thank you, Brian. We have a follow-up from Tim Sullivan.
Brian, this might be kind of a esoteric sort of question, but Charleston Battery was an affiliate of Atlanta United your first year there. Did you get a chance to kind of see whether it's from guys being loaned down or anything like that, maybe some of the parts of Atlanta United that might be a little less visible to the public?
I got to play a lot with you know, it's either Miles Robinson or whoever was loaned down in Charleston. You know, Atlanta United plays the same way, and they have a style of playing which is playing out of the back and possession, and it's a possession team. And I mean, you all have seen it. I don't think there's anything that I've seen that you guys haven't seen. They just play the same way, and they try to bring that up with the academy and all the guys that try to develop that in that system, and that's just how they play.